factorial of positive integer. So we know like what is factorial. So what is a factorial value? So this already we are done with the lower classes. So there we have done with how to find the factorial of a given number using the user-defined function. And we know user-defined function in that we are going to implement a recursive function like factorial, calling the same function in that. And just scroll down to the 47th page where you can see the program, that is factorial program. So in that the user-defined function factorial has been used, and we are calling that function. In the same function we are repeating until the requirement result is going to display onto the screen. So after that we are going to implement. So same way we have demonstrated one more example program in this because of like Fibonacci sequence. So if you want to execute in this also we have implemented recursive functionality. So 47 and 48 page, just refer to that, you will understand. GCD also we have implemented where we have used HCF as a user defined function, and we are calling that function in the same function number of times as per the required result. So that is how we are going to implement. So 47, 48 page, just if you read, you understand it, and try to memorize the functionalities, how we are calling the function within a function, and how we are going to achieve the required task, how we are going to get the required result. So that is demonstrated in this. Just if you see, if you try to do the analysis, then you will understand. And next, going for the important concept, one of the important concept called as a queue. Important concept called as a queue. So that we will discuss today. Important concept, queue. So in the last sessions we have discussed about the stack. So both of them are the linear data structure concepts. Stack is linear data structure and queue is also a linear data structure. So both of them are linear data structures. So now will just to focus on stack. So what is stack? Anyone in this? What is stack? Give the definition. Anyone? Just I'll wait. I want the definition of a stack. So in simple words, I want. So I don't want to have like vast definition of that. Only simple definition. How you are going to define a stack? Anyone from this class? Anyone from this class? I want the definition of a stack. Anyone? Anyone from this group? What is the definition of a stack?
Stack is adding and removing of elements in a particular order.
So stack, we are performing two operations. All right. That is nothing but inserting the elements and deleting the elements. So what is the order we are performing there? In which order we are storing and retrieving? What is the order we are following there? We are saying we are inserting and deleting the elements into the stack in sequential or some order. So what is that order we are following it? Anyone? What is the order of storing and retrieving the elements into the stack? What is the principle we are following?
Last in, first out.
I'm asking about this last in,
first out.
one thing, last in, first out. So that is right. So we are inserting and deleting the elements by using the principle called as the last in first out. That is, whatever the element we have entered lastly, that will be removed first. So that is the order of inserting and deleting. So what are the technical names of inserting and deleting operations?
Push and
What are
pop.
the push and pop? So push is nothing but inserting elements into the stack, and pop is nothing but deleting the elements from the stack. And here stack is going to have only one end. Stack is going to have only one end. So that you need to remember. Stack is going to have only one end called as the top. So only from that end we are going to store or retrieve the elements. And the principle followed in the stack is last in first out. That is, whatever the element entered last, that will be deleted first. And the 5 operations we are going to implement, like push, pop. Push is nothing but inserting, pop is nothing but deleting, and is empty is full, and get top. So these are the 5 functions we will be implementing related to the stack data structure. And same way, if you go for the queue, so scroll down to the page 49. Scroll down to the page 49. So there queue is discussed. Queue. So queue is nothing but it is a linear data structure again. And in this, same operations can be done, like insertions and deletions can be done. But if you see the diagram, that is different. If you see the diagram, that is different. So in which way this is different is, it is same like a stack, but here we are going to have 2 ends. In a stack, we are going to have one end. So insertions and deletions can be performed from only that end, called as a top end. And going to the queue, we are going to have 2 ends, so called as a front and rear. Called as a front and rear. 2 ends it is going to have, called as a front and rear. So from 2 ends we can perform 2 different operations. From 2 ends we can perform 2 different operations. So stack is a linear data structure in which insertions and deletions are performed by 2 different ends. So insertion can be done at from one end, and deletions can be done at one end, another end. So that you need to remember. And in this, the order of insertions and deletions, the principle followed is first in, first out. First in, first out. So that's why this technique, this data structure is called as a queue. This data structure is called as a queue. So simple example I'll give. Suppose if you are going to if you are going to any like bank, suppose if you want to perform any operation, suppose I want to deposit some money into my account. So I need to be in a line. I need to maintain queue. So in that queue, I need to stand, and until once I get my number, I need to wait. So once I get the number, then I use my transaction. I do my transaction, and I'll be going out from that queue, right? So in this, what is happening? Whoever are coming first, they will be served first. Whoever are coming first, they will be served first. So that is the order. That is why it is called as a queue. So same way, coming to data structure, queue is nothing but whatever the element we have inserted first, that will be deleted first. Whatever the element we have inserted first, the same element will be deleted first. So first, we are going to have 2 ends for this queue. One is called as the front end, other one is called as the rear end. So 2 ends. So principle followed here is first in, first out. Whatever the element we have inserted first, only that element will be deleted first. So this is a principle behind this queue. Stack means last in, first out. LIFO. Queue means FIFO. So firstly, in stack, first element will not get deleted first. Last element will get deleted first. And Q, first element will be deleted first. So only that is the difference between these two, stack and queue data structures. And in this, the insertions can be done. The insertions can be done at one end, and the deletions can be done at one end. And the insertions can be done from the rear end, REAR, rear end. And the deletions can be done from the front end. Insertions can be done at the rear end, and insertions can be done at the deletions can be done from the front end. Insert rear end, delete front end. So that is the thing you need to remember. And two operations, inserting operation is called as the NQ, and the deleting operation is called as a DQ. NQ means insertion operation, DQ means deletion operation. So insertion can be done, like NQ can be done from the rear end, and DQ can be done from the front end. So removing of elements from the queue from the front end, and insertion, that is adding of the elements into the queue from the rear end. And the operations, NQ means, NQ is nothing but it is going to add elements into the queue, and a DQ is nothing but it is going to remove an element from the queue. All right. So next, so here example. So if you go to the example part, then you will understand. So here we are going to have two ends, like a front and rear end, and we are going to perform NQ and the DQ operations, and NQ for adding purpose and DQ for removing purpose, and display for, like we are going to travel to all the elements, and we are going to display the each and every element when we travel, when we visit that element. So the primitive operations, we are going to have the primitive operations, like insertions can be done from the rear end, and deletions can be done from the front end. So here we are going to have the pointouts, like 25 is pointing where, like front it is pointing to 25, and rear it is going to point for the 85 in this example. So 5 elements we have inserted. So those first element is pointing to the front, and the last element is pointing to the rear. Rear is pointing to that last element. And we are performing 3 operations, NQ, DQ, and the display. So next, going to the operations like implementing ADT, abstract data type. So where we are implementing is nothing but create, add, delete, get front, is empty. So we need to check for the 2 types here, is empty or not, and we need to go back to the positions where it is pointing to the front. So front is important. So based upon that only we are going to perform all the operations. Like we are going to check is empty or not, or it is pointing to the get front or not, get front functions. So 5 functions will be followed here, like create the queue, and in that we are going to add the elements from the rear end, and delete from the front end, and get front, we are going to get the front element where it is pointing to position number, and is empty, we are going to check queue is empty or not. So these are the 5 operations we are going to follow. So same, if you go for same way, if you go for the stack, so in the stack we are following 3 operations, like push, pop, is empty, is full, is top, get top. So these are the 5 operations we have used in the stack, and whereas in this also we'll be using this 5, like create, add, delete, get front, is empty. So these 5 operations we are going to check. So here I'll check the algorithm QADT. So it is simple thing. So we are going to check for this declaration of a queue, where we are going to add, we are going to create the queue, then we are going to implement add function, to which we are passing the element and the queue value, and delete, we are going to pass the queue value, so that it will be removing the element from that, and get front, so we are going to check the position of the front option, front. So earlier, if you see the 5 elements, so front is pointing to the 25, that is the first element in the list, and rear it is pointing to the last element in the list. So front we are going to check that the elements are present or not, and is empty is a one more function. Get front is one more function. We are going to check the value is empty. It will give you 0 or 1. That is why we are true or false. It will give you true or false. That's why we are saying it as a. That's why we are saying it as a Boolean expression. Boolean. So here we are going to get the Boolean expressions in terms of mathematics, mathematical expressions. Just if you go through, you will understand it. So same way representation of queues using arrays. So creation. So first we need to create the queue. So initially front and rear will point to the -1. So if there are no elements, it is going to point to the -1. So just like the top in the stack, initially top will point to the -1. So similarly front and rear will point to the -1. So after this is empty, we are going to check. So the front and rear are equal, then it will return the value as 1. Otherwise it will return 0. So similarly is full or not, we are going to check. Is full means rear is equal to double equal to max -1. Similarly, if we go for the stack, we are going to check top equal to max -1. If it is true, then we are going to go for like stack is full. Here rear is value is equal to -1, max -1, then we are going to say it is full. So we are going to check is just a small change in the stack and queue implementation parts. If the front is pointing to rear, then it is empty. We are going to say it is empty. And front is equal, rear is equal to max -1. Then we can say that queue is full, and we can implement add operation is full because add means we are going to insert a new element into the queue. Add means we are going to insert a new element into the queue. So before inserting, we are going to check is full or not. We are going to check is full or not. So if it is full, it is not possible to add any new element to the queue. Similarly, delete. So when implementing this delete, we are going to check is empty or not. So if it is empty, we cannot remove it. Otherwise, we can implement this. So get front is one more function. So it is going to point to the front option, and there we will implement is it empty or not. Is it not empty, then we go for incrementation part of the front value. So like this. So similarly, if you go through this program, you'll understand it. Implementing is empty, is full, add, delete, get, front. Otherwise, you can use enqueue, dequeue as a functionalities. Okay, simply by seeing this, you will understand this all the operations. So just you need to understand is the definitions of this, and if you know that how the front and rear will act. Okay, and similarly, we are having one more important concept called as circle queue. Queue is nothing but we have seen just now. We have seen like a rectangular box. So where two ends are open, rectangular box where two ends are open. So rear and front are pointing to the queue. So if the elements are present in that, so rear is going to point other element, and front is going to point to the other elements, other positions. If both are same, that is nothing but empty, front and rear will point to only one location. So now in circular queue, there are no elements, like there are no like all the front and rear are attached. Front and rear are attached. so that we can implement a circular queue. So in this also we are going to follow same. It is a fixed size. We cannot change the size of this circular queue. So in this we will be implementing first in first out. It is implementing first in first out principle only, and we are going to follow the circular linked list. We are going to follow the circular linked list. So what is linked list? We'll discuss in the coming sessions. What is linked list? We'll be discussing in the coming sessions. Right. So now if you see the diagram, it is called as a ring buffer. It is called as a ring buffer. Next, similarly, the points are there, like in a circular queue, the last node is connected back to the last node is connected back to the first node to make a circle. Last node and first element and last element in the queue will get attached to form the circle. So that is called as a ring buffer. Okay. Next, if you scroll down to this, and NQ and DQ, simply you will understand by seeing this diagram. So first, front and rear are pointing to only one element where 14 has been placed, and if you are NQing means inserting the values into the circular queue. So 14 has been added first, then we are adding 22. So front is pointing to 14 only, and rear now it is pointing to 22. Earlier front and rear are pointing to only 14. Now it is pointing to 14. Front is 14 and rear pointing to 22. So once you are adding the elements, the rear value is incrementing by 1. Rear is pointing to that elements as soon as once we enter the elements into the queue, circular queue. And front is not changing the value, so only it is pointing to that value only. And once you are placing all the elements, it is incrementing the value of rear by 1 and front remaining the constant. So if you come to the next step, if you implement DQ, first diagrams are nothing but NQ, means implementing the instruction process, and coming to the second one, that is second operation DQ means removing. So as we discussed, it will remove the elements from front. So now front positions it is going to decrement. Front positions it will increment. So it is going to point to the next location in a queue. Next locations in a queue. Something like EQ in the first front is pointing to 14 value. So now if you implement a DQ, we need not to input any value to that. So anyway, first what are the element present in the front first in a queue will get removed. So we need not to provide any value or to be removed from the queue. So whatever the first element we have inserted in the queue will get removed first. So 14 is the first element we have inserted. So now 14 will be removed and front position will increment, means it is going to point to the next, it is 22. So once you are using this DQs, it will decrement the value of front, it will increment the value of front, but rear will remain constant. After that, we have implemented again NQ. So now it will place the value in the rear. After -6, it is placing 9. So now rear is pointing to 9. Earlier it was pointing to 6 because we have inserted a value. So value is constant and incrementing. So 25. So now again we have inserted 5. So 5 is inserted at the last. That is here pointing to. This is how it work. So if you understand this diagram, simply you can put it in your own words. So for this diagram, definitely if you place this diagram in this way, definitely more marks you will be getting. Just give the explanation part of the circular queue and just follow through the diagrams. Definitely you will, and it's put in programmatic way. So we are implementing like object oriented programming. So here we are using you can go through this once you understand the diagrammatic representations. Same way you can put it in this algorithm or program. Okay, just it looks lengthier, but concept is simple. Concept is simple. So next, going to the advantages of using the circular queue. Advantages of using circular queue. So what are the advantages? So just we check for the advantages. By using circular queue, data shifting is avoided as the front end rear are modified by using the mod functions. So data need always it goes to the beginning of the element in a circular queue. So if you read, you will understand. If the number of elements to be stored in the queue is fixed, that is the if the queue is size is specific, then circular queue is the advanced. And yes, to change it. So then we are not going to use this circular queue. So only we are going to use the normal queue. Okay, and many practical explanations such as printer queue, priority queue, and simultaneous queues. We have seen up to now just we have implemented in this normal queue and the circular queue. Next, we are having a DQ. DQ. So DQ is nothing but a double-ended queue. Double-ended queue. So the difference between normal and this DQ is the only one ends can be used as a deletion. Like we are going to have two ends, and from the front end we can use for the deletion purpose, and from the rear end we can use for the only purpose. Rear end insertion, front end deletion. But coming to DQ, both the operations can be done from the both the ends. So from the rear end we can perform insertion and deletion, and from the front end we can perform deletion and insertion. So both the operations we can perform, right? So that is called as a DQ. So what is DQ? DQ is going to have the both ends, and from the both the ends we can perform insertion and deletion. Whereas a simple normal queue, so in that queue we are going to have two ends. So front end user for deletion purpose and rear end user for insertion purpose. But whereas DQ, both the ends used for both the operations, two operations. So that is using this DQ. That is the advantage of using DQ. So just to simply read same operations, whatever we have done with the queue can be used in this process also. Okay. And just will focus only one thing, that is the problem, Josephus problem. We are having Josephus problem in this, so that we'll be discussing. Okay, job scheduling and Josephus problem. So which are the applications of queues? Which are the applications of queues? So next comes the linked list. Okay, so anyway we have time, right? So job scheduling and Josephus problem. So the problem is known as the Josephus problem, and it postulates a group of soldiers surrounded by an irresistible enemy force. So there is no hope for victory without reinforcements. So this is all like it solves the problems if you introduce this queues by using the DQs. We can have the two uh, operations you can perform from the front end and the rear end. So there are some advantages in the circular one. So these are the advantages clockwise and the anti-clockwise. Also, we can perform the operations related to the soldiers. So, right. So if you read it, you will understand all the synopsis contents will be present. Okay. If you read and try to memorize this, okay, that is nothing but Josephus problem. Okay, I'm not going into deeper parts. Okay, to read it, you'll understand it. So advantages of this queue. Okay, job scheduling, as we know, like priorities will be given and task will be handed to the persons. So that is nothing but job scheduling. So suppose if the 10 jobs are there and based upon the priorities, we are going to take up the desired job and we are going to put it just like the deadlines, like maximum number of days. Just we are going to take it as less days. So deadlines we are going to make it as per the job requirements. We are going to do the job scheduling process. So it is also in this way also queues will work. In this way also queues will work. I am not going deeper parts into that. Just if you read it, you understand. Okay. Next, we're going to the linker list. So which is one more important in this. Okay. So only few minutes are having in this session. Okay, just I want to give the introduction part of this linker list. So it is nothing but ordered collection of data in which you are going to have the node. So a node consisting of two parts. So first part is nothing but the data and second part is nothing but the link. First part is called as the data and second part is called as the link. So data is nothing but we are going to store some values in that, and link is nothing but address of the next node. Address of the next node. So node is nothing but it is a combination of data and link. Node is nothing but it is a combination of data and a link of another node. So in this it is like if you go for the stack and queue, we are having like one array there. We have stored and retrieved the values according to our requirements. So in this, we are going to have independent applications just like the node. So node is nothing but it is a combination of data as well as the link. So if you see the diagrammatic representation examples in this. So if you go for this, we have placed the diagram like 5, 10, 20, 1 as the values which are placed in the nodes, and first 5 node is said to be the head node, and the last one we are giving the value. That is nothing but it is pointing to the null. It is pointing to the null address. So here we are going to have the first node address in the second node's address we are going to store in the first node, and similarly the next node address in the previous node. So in this way we are going to form the link of the nodes, so that if you get the address of the first node, you can traverse to all the nodes by going through the addresses, respective addresses and the data present in the respective nodes. So that is the advantages. So those are the advantages, right? So what are the advantages? If you place the data and the link, if you get the address of the first node is said to be the head node. You get the address of the first node, then you can traverse to all the nodes which are linked to first, second, third, like this nodes addresses. We are going to get the addresses. So last one is said to be the last node, which is called as the tail, So which will have the null address, which will have the null address. That is, if you want to add some new, there is no node for that last node. That is why it is called as the tail. It is called as the tail. So if you go for terms related to technology, if you go for that, we are having like head. So in that head, we are going to have the first node is set to be the head node, and the first node front and the first node we are representing the node without predecessor. We don't have a predecessor to this node, so that's what is called as the starting of the list, the node that starts the list. So we are calling it as linked list. So linked list. So list is having the links, all the links. So that is why we are calling it as a linked list. So next, second, tail is nothing but the end. That is last node, the node that has no successor, the last node in the list. So we don't have any last node in the list. So that's why we don't have any connections for the next node. So that's why it is called as the tail. Next, current. So current is nothing but it is going to process the current node. We can process the next node. So you go for the first node address. If you get the address of the first node, definitely we are going to traverse to all the nodes in a list. Next, comparison of sequential and linked organization. So this we'll be discussing in the next sessions. Okay. So comparison between the sequential and the linked list. So sequential organizations and the linked list we will be discussing in the next session. So up to queues, we have completed stack and queue. So which is very important related to the practical as well as the